Alright, so today I'll be showing you how to profit from solo 5-way legions. It's a low investment strategy because it's only around one divine will get you around 5 or 6 sets, so it's pretty cheap. It's easy to set up because you only have to bulk by the emblems and then go. There's no sextants or scarabs or anything like that. You don't need to pay an Orbot or gather XP leechers because you'll be running a solo, so that makes it way easier. There's no waiting or anything, and it's around 10 divines an hour profit, which is pretty good. It's better than most mapping strategies. There's a lot of potential for big drops, like good timeless jewels. One of the timeless jewels I got from this was worth 150 divines or more, so yeah. And then you get a lot of synthesis items, good fractures, mirror shards. Everyone's gotten 8 mirror shards from running these from one 5-way. And then it's consistent. You're only spending around 6 minutes per 5-way. 5 minutes for the actual 5-way itself, and then 1 minute looting, so it's pretty quick, and you're always going to be running it the exact same amount of time per 5-way. Okay, so the slow reset tech is the key to making profit from this. You reset every 19 seconds instead of instantly, so you want to maximize the amount of rewards. So as you can see in this one, I got plus 61 rewards, which is the highest I've ever gotten. It's a lot. It's almost 7 reward bars, but the game doesn't show that many. It works in both normal and Uber 5-ways, the slow resetting, so you could use it on either and make significantly more money by getting significantly more loot. It's very consistent, you don't need a resetter, and it's solo viable. I ran all of these solo. The bad parts, you get less XP, both for gems and players, so it's harder to level gems in here, and you'll also get less player XP, so you can't really carry people at all, because they don't want to pay for 4,500 kills in a 5-way. It's hard without an optimized build, so you're gonna need like a pretty decent build to be able to run these, unfortunately, but that's how it is. And then you get less kills for incubators, so you're only getting around 4,500 kills for the incubators, which isn't that bad, but it's gonna be hard to do any of the high kill incubators in here. And here's how you reset optionally. So the Mariketh boss, which is the dinosaur one that usually spawns in this top left area, has to be killed twice. So you want to start the reset at a point where it's closest to the Mariketh boss so that you can kill it. And then you'll do a clockwise circle around the area, and then you'll come back, kill the Mariketh boss again before resetting again. Obviously, wait for the full 19 seconds before resetting again so that you actually get the maximum amount of rewards. So yeah, if you go too fast or too slow, it's gonna mess up your rewards. If you go too slow slightly, it's not terrible, but if you go too fast, it will mess up your rewards by a lot. There's a timer link in the description if you want to use this timer here. It's pretty easy. You just press this play button here, and it'll start. The first 10 seconds is a buffer, so wait for the 10 seconds. You'll hear a beep, and then you just reset every time you hear the beep, and that's basically it. With this reset timing, the waves are either going to have all 5 bosses at once or 0 bosses at all, and it'll alternate between that. So the first wave is going to have 5 bosses, the second wave is going to have 0, the third wave is going to have 5 bosses, etc. Now if you're too slow in killing one of the bosses, it will spawn on one of the waves that is supposed to not have bosses, and that'll reduce your rewards because you'll be able to kill that boss one less time total, and that's basically one less reward. So try not to let that happen, but it sometimes happens, and it's not that big of a deal. The best reset positions are usually around here to here, this area, and that's because the Mariketh boss could spawn anywhere from here to here, so you just want to be as close as possible to it, and you also want to try to kill a second boss at the same time. So I usually reset around here, so I could get the Mariketh boss here and this guy at the same time, and then I just do a clockwise circle, killing every boss. You gotta make sure you kill every single boss within the 14 seconds. And then reset afterwards. You need to kill them in 14 seconds because you need around 5 seconds left in the wave, otherwise they'll go to the next wave, which is bad. Yeah, and the position does not matter for waves without bosses. So if you're on the non-boss wave, you can reset anywhere, it does not matter, but just make sure you're resetting in the right place for the boss waves, otherwise you're going to waste some time. Okay, so for tips and other info, you're going to need to build with very fast clear and a decent boss damage. The highest amount of health a boss has in here is 35 million health, so just keep that in mind, and you're going to need to kill 5 bosses within 14 seconds. So for good builds, anything with like lots of projectiles is really good, or explodes. So for example, Kinetic Blast is by far the best, Tornado Shot's a close second, Spectral Shield throw is also really good, so is Lightning Arrow. And Blade Vortex is good if you have lots of Explode. If you don't have Explode, it's not going to be good. Other builds with lots of exploded projectiles. Fizz Conversion, especially with Headhunter, is also just very good in general. So bad builds would be RF or any damage over time build really, and melee except Flicker Strike and maybe Frost Blades. Those probably work fine. Then Traps and Mines are going to be terrible, obviously. Highly recommend a Headhunter. It makes it significantly easier. My build, I have no defenses at all because I'm using a Headhunter, so I just built full damage. I have like 80 million DPS. And decently scaled explodes, especially physical, work extremely well to kill the bosses because the bosses are usually surrounded by a ton of trash mobs, which will all explode and do damage to the boss. Tried to off-screen kill Vox, which is the bottom left boss that spawns in this area here, because if you don't off-screen kill him, he'll probably use his shield ability, and that spawns 6 statues around him in a circle. And you'll need to break every statue before you could kill him, and it wastes a lot of time, and it's really annoying. So try to off-screen kill him if you can't, then it's going to take extra time, but it's probably fine. Make sure you're using incubators. Ornate and diviners are by far the best, so make sure to use those when you have them. If you don't have them, Calgren, Skittering, and Cartographers work well. I usually use Cartographers because they only require like a small amount of kills, but Calgren will give you the most money out of these 3. Skittering should be your last resort if you don't have any of the other ones. You can equip a heist trinket for an extra incubator slot, so just run a blueprint, get your trinket real quick, and equip it, and then you just put an incubator on it. The trinket doesn't matter at all, just any trinket works. You could level gems for additional profit. You just use a bow and a Maloney's mechanism in your weapon swap, and you could level 9 gems. If you get white sockets on these, it makes it way easier, so try to do that. Number of players has 0 effect on the loot drops, so there's no difference at all in the loot between 1 and 6 players, so that's why we're running it solo is very good. And then you can put Timeless Jewels in a high price dump tab to sell them easier, because you just lower the price over time until you get to a really low price, and then if they don't sell it that much, they're probably never going to sell. So I usually start at like 5 divines and then go down to 1. If I get message instantly, price check it obviously, it's probably worth more. You could easily hit level 100 doing this. That's how I hit level 100 on both my characters. You'll get around 4,500 kills, which is 4% XP at level 99 usually. And yeah. So the profit breakdown, I ran 50 sets, so it was 10 divines because I bought them at 5 sets per divine. If you buy them on trade site, you get around 6 sets per divine, so do that. I got mine through TFT. In total, I earned 60 divines, which you can see here, and like what type of items were which amount of divines, so a lot in currency and uniques. Uniques is mostly the timeless jewels, so. And so it took me 5 hours at 6 minutes per set, so like I said, 5 minutes to do the 5-way itself, and then 1 minute to loot. So 10 divines an hour profit, which is pretty good. It's better than most mapping strategies. I counted timeless jewels as 25C each because the prices are like very variable, and you can't really accurately calculate it. So yeah. And you could level gems for additional profit. I was lazy, I didn't level any gems, so that's not included at all here, but you could probably make at least half a divine an hour profit higher if you're doing that. Probably more. As you can see, most of the profit, this is the first page of post stack, so it's the most valuable items, and you'd see a lot of it is stacked decks and raw divines, and there's a lot of other like currency and things here. The timeless jewels obviously at 25C each. So majority of the profits from easily sellable items like stacked decks, raw currency, and as you can see, scarabs, fossils, fragments, which is mostly unrelenting emblems and things like that. Stacked decks alone, you can see they paid for all the sets, so every single thing else I got was just straight profit. So, and then the timeless jewels, like I said, up variable pricing. You could get a lot of them that are gonna be like worth like 50 plus divines. I've gotten probably like 10 or more that are worth 50 plus divines, but I've done well over 300 5-ways at this point, or probably more than that. And one of the jewels I got from these 50 sets was worth 150 plus divines. So yeah, I did not include that in the profit obviously, and you get an average of 3.4 timeless jewel drops per set, so you'll be getting a decent amount of them. Then you'll get a bunch of synthesized and fractured items, and those can be good profit. I dropped a percent strength belt during this, and it sold for 3 divines. I didn't include that here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so now I'm gonna show an example of running one of these 5-ways. I'm using a Abyss Jewel stacking Kinetic Blast build, around 3 mirrors investment. So basically just use 5 normal emblems. Just go in, try to find where the Marikath boss is. So for me it's right here, this is one of the worst spots, unfortunately, but it's fine. Then you start your timer, you wait for... I usually do the first reset around 1 second left on the timer because the first one takes longer. So you see I go in, and I go for the Marikath boss, make sure it's dead, and then I do a clockwise circle, making sure to kill every boss. When the green circle symbol disappears, you'll know the boss is dead. You just wait for the beep, you reset. And basically you'll just keep doing this repeatedly until you are done with the 5-way when the timer runs out at the top. Not too hard, pretty simple. That's it. So yeah, I'll just keep doing this, and then we'll seal it at the end. Alright, so as you can see, we got around plus 45 rewards this time, which is pretty good. I started on as plus 61, like I said earlier, but plus 41 is definitely still good. And you can see the type of loot, kind of spawns everywhere, so you have to like, manually trying to figure out where it is sometimes. But, we got 3 timeless jewels this time, which is the average. Terrible synth item. Got 2 unrelenting emblems, so that is 80 chaos right there. Or more. I'm not really sure the exact price right now. And yeah, proven right damage or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to see more, I stream on Twitch sometimes. Links in the description, and thanks for watching. Bye.